the harbinger of spring. Hello, I'm Katherine Bergman, a floral designer and avid gardener with over 30 years experience designing weddings and events. Welcome to my channel, where I share professional tips and techniques for creating extraordinary, beautiful floral arrangements with you each week. Today we're going to learn how to make this pussy willow basket and this sweet little tulip arrangement. So are you ready to make something gorgeous together? Let's get started. First, we're going to create the pussy willow handles of the basket. So I found a basket with a nice sturdy round handle, and I like the shape of it. It looks kind of like a little nest. And what I have here are 8 stems of pussy willow kind of massaged into kind of a crescent shape. Now, I bought a bunch of pussy willow from Trader Joe's for like $4.99, very inexpensive. I don't know if there's 10 or 12 stems in a bunch, but it comes like this. And what I do is I pick out a stem of the willow, and then you just kind of bend it. You'll see there's one, you'll get to a point where it doesn't bend very easily. And then just cut that part off, because this really stiff part is not going to bend very well, so we don't want to use that. So just cut that off at a point, and then the rest of it you can massage into a circle, sort of like asparagus. I don't know if you guys cook. I'm a big cook. Asparagus, the way you trim asparagus is you kind of go down the stem and see where there's a natural break, right? You discard the woody bottom stem of it, kind of like that. So you just kind of bend your pussy willow, find a place where it's really stiff, cut it off from that point, and then you have a more pliable piece of material to work with. So I've done 4 of these for each size, so I've got 8 of these. And the basket I chose have lots of openings. And so what I'm going to do is just stick it into the opening of the basket itself, and kind of near the handle. Easier said than done, right? And then just kind of leave it there. And don't worry about, if it stays up or not, because we're going to tie it. Okay. Just stick it in there like this. Okay. We're going to do it on this side as well. It's okay if it flops over, because we're going to just bind it together at the end. Now, many of you have seen me do this with a lot of different materials, like flowering branches, other branchy material to create sort of like a wreath-like handle when you don't have an actual basket handle. I tried that with the pussy willow. It was hard to get a nice shape, so I thought, why not find a basket that has a handle and just decorate the handle with the pussy willow for a more interesting container that just screams, springtime is around the corner. We're all ready for a little bit of springtime, aren't we? Okay, then you're going to gather your pussy willow branches the way you've bent it on both sides. And I'm purposely doing it one by one, because I want it to show more, right? So you have more of these branches. You don't want to gather it really tightly, because I think it's pretty to see that open space and have the pussy willow branches show. Okay, and then we're going to bind it with bind wire at the top. And you can either put a bow on this or some other ornament or something to hide your wire. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And I also made a pussy willow wreath. Same technique. Cut out the really stiff part of the pussy willow, run a wire through the entire length of the willow, and then make it into a hoop or a circle. And this is, we're joining 2 pieces together because not long enough to make the circumference of the circle. And I'm just going to put that over my basket so that you've got the pussy willow down here as well. You're going to lose some of these little cotton buds, but don't worry, there's plenty of them on here. Now, instead of a bow, what I thought would be really cute is to do a piece of moss. I'm going to hot glue moss on top here. I'm going to hot glue some moss. This is just dyed sphagnum moss, or Spanish moss. And I thought it'd be really cute to add this little nest with two little birds and an egg on top. Something different from a bow, right? And then you've got this great basket for spring. And once the arrangement we're going to do today in it is spent, you can always add like little plants in here. So we're hiding where we joined the willow on top with a little nest. And that's it. So it's sort of a little craft project today. And now you've got this cute little basket decorated for spring. And this would be adorable, filled with like little annuals, like maybe pansies, or spring bulb flowers like muscari or miniature daffodil. It's a little early right now for those. So I have here a block of our oasis in a little single-use food storage container to make this watertight. And I'm just going to add tulips. We're going to do a very simple tulip arrangement. I have two colors of tulips here, pink and white. And this is a super easy arrangement where we're just going to add the tulips in like they're growing from a meadow. And we're going to dip it in our quick dip that I use every week. I'll link this in the description below. This is a great product for things to help things last. And I did put a little gin in the water for the tulips because you're supposed to do that. And it's supposed to help them stay turgid and not flop over so much. Now, when you buy your tulips from the flower market or the grocery store, you want to keep it in its cellophane packaging upright, to keep it upright, and put it in like a couple inches of water with some gin. And that should help your tulips from flopping over too much. You do want to at some point unpackage it because you don't want the tulips rotting in the cellophane, right? But for the first day or so after you process it, keep it in the cellophane to keep it upright. Now we're cutting the tulips pretty short, so we're not going to have to worry too much about it flopping over. And this is like a super easy arrangement. The way I envisioned it is it's going to look like the tulips are growing from the basket here. I wish I had some grape hyacinths or some other little bulb plant, but I did not get any grape hyacinths. It's a little early. Mine are just coming out. I also planted 100 tulip bulbs this year, so let's see how we do. But they're just peeking out right now, so these are store-bought tulips. I'm gonna add some pink ones. And I keep a little bit of the tulip foliage on here because I love tulip foliage. I think it adds to the charm of the plant. Right? So we're just doing a sweet little tulip basket arrangement. Very spring, almost reminds me of like an Easter arrangement. Definitely you could use something like this for Easter as well. Now I bought my tulips at my Trader Joe's and they are very inexpensive, 20 stems for $12.99. I've got more than 20 stems here, but not quite 40 stems because we use some of the pink tulips in another arrangement. And the Pussy Willow was $4.99. So for under $20, $30, you can get this. You can make this cute arrangement, and you just have to have a little basket. I like the look of the tulips massed together because I just think it's one of those plants that look best in sort of its natural environment. And generally when I use tulips, I use them by themselves. I mean, sometimes I'll do them in arrangements. But generally speaking, I like tulips kind of just simple and clean by itself with its own foliage. going a tiny bit shorter when I get to the edge of the container. But you don't have to. Super, super easy arrangement, right? Now you see that I haven't greened in at all. We're going to go ahead and add all the tulips in first. And then I'm just going to probably use a little bit of moss to cover any exposed foam. Because I don't think greening in would make sense in this arrangement if we wanted to look like the tulips are growing out of the ground, right? Unless you can do like grass or something in there. I figured just some moss would be fine. It rained for about almost 10 days, 2 weeks straight in Northern California here. So we're ready for some sunshine in springtime. I mean, I know we don't have very hard winters here. I shouldn't complain. We don't have snow or ice or anything like that. But I'm ready for spring. And a little arrangement like this at least brings spring into your home. And after the holidays, all of us are ready for these pretty pastel colors, right? You guys tired of red and green and red and white and red and everything else? Oops, I broke this one. That's okay. Just make it a little shorter. One more stem of tulip left. Where should I add this last stem? Okay, so we're done with our arrangement. Now we only have to worry about covering the little bit of exposed foam as well as the transition between our single-use plastic container and our basket. Put this aside. I've got some green sphagnum moss here. Dyed green, so I'm going to put it on a towel. I don't want it to bleed on my counters because it got a little bit wet. And then we're just going to tuck it in here and there between your foam and the basket. Tuck some inside so that we don't see the foam. Just a little bit in there. Gonna spin it around. The little bird's so cute. You guys who know me and watch me all the time know I love my little birds. And what a sweet little spring, harbinger of spring arrangement at least. And a little pussy willow basket of pink and white tulips. Super easy to do and inexpensive too. So we're all done. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this cute pussy willow basket that's very versatile. Thank you for joining me today. Hope I've inspired you to create something fabulous. As you know, I love hearing from my loyal viewers each week, so send me a comment to let me know what you're doing and share your designs with your fellow flower lovers in the community section of my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and join me here again. New designs and floral creations are always on the way, so click the little bell to be notified when I put out a new video. So until next time, remember, flowers are life's little luxuries, and I will see you in my next video.